go faster. The faster I can make them go, that's my research. 20 years I've been trying to make microprocessors go faster. And from that have come 12 companies. And then business, he said, it's easy. You try and find a way of making it for $1 and sell it for 10. He's a big prof. You know, business is easy for him because he lets somebody else do it. But the principle is there. And as you can see, he's connected most recently with UBSense. If you go to 10 o'clock on that map with Richard Green. So, you know, the ecosystem, they hang around together, they come back, they do things together. You find some names repeating themselves on that picture. Going towards 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock on the map are some of the newer names, younger ones who've been inspired by the older guys who've been around for 20, 30 years. Oh, there's one other name I should show you on that previous one. If you go to around 5 o'clock, 4 or 5 o'clock, you'll find three names, David Cleverly, Herman Hauser and Alec Brewers, the company called Cambridge Network. Lord Alec Brewers now in the UK system, he was the Vice Chancellor of the university. So he too got involved. Can you imagine the signaling effect of that? What a powerful signaling effect that the top individual in the university wants this stuff to happen and is himself willing to get involved at the sharp end to take the lead. So I think it's a very important statement that he made. This picture shows you how this network works together. So this is, in the nicest use of the term, the Cambridge Mafia. Okay? These are the folks, technology-based people who have made money, who have come back and put money back into the system as business angel investors. So the thin lines are they have done business with each other at least once, then at least twice with the brown line, and then the blue line is 3 times or more, and the dark blue is they have been in business together at least 4 times. Now, when we show this picture to our students, this is what Camille was talking about. Not only are we educating them, but we're actually linking them with the business community. This is the kind of information we need. You need that here as well to stimulate your students. Why? Because if a student comes to say to me, Shai, I have this idea for a new microprocessor, blah, blah, blah. Say, okay, let's work up your story. Who should you meet? In the end, if it's a microprocessor story, you have to go to the Holy Trinity. The Holy Trinity are Herman Hauser, Mike Muller, and Andy Hopper. But you get one chance with these guys. If your idea is not good, if you're not good, your team doesn't look good, and you look rubbish, don't go there. So how do we get them ready? We prepare them before they can go to see these senior people. So we need to know who they talk to, which is a soft entry in. The other story would be Hans Christian Andersen's metaphor. This is the king and his court. How do you enter that court? You do it slowly. If you're a woman, it's a bit tougher, by the way. If you notice the picture, it's got no women in it. Don't blame me, okay? I'm just a messenger. I'm already looking at the ladies here because I know one of the questions will come. We hope we can solve this in the future. I can't solve it, the ladies have to solve it. You know, but I'm hoping through role models that we bring on our courses to show it can be done. So from your point of view, the impact, the vicarious learning of role models is hugely, hugely important. Hence the story that Camille gave you earlier about the lady who runs Birmingham Football Club. She's 38, she's had brain cancer, she's been in the 12, 13 years, hugely successful, entirely in a man's world, a brutal man's world, and she has made a success of it. I think it's hugely inspirational for the women who came along to say it can be done. So what do we learn from these people? The question that Camille posed earlier, which is how can we help you? This mentality of the how can we help you. The other aspect of this ecosystem that I understand, it's not unique to Cambridge, by the way. I mean, I think it's around all the high-tech cluster areas, is these entrepreneurs are what would be described as polymath. They can do lots of different things. Some of them play music, saxophone. There's a band called Deep Blue. The bass guitarist of Deep Blue is a professor of autism research in Cambridge. The singer, and I have to tell you, he kind of sings. He's a serial entrepreneur. He's taken a computer software program out of material science. He should do that more. Well, he's a lovely guy, so we listen to him. And so on around. And there's one of them is a Cambridge angel investor, plays the saxophone. Again, he doesn't practice enough, but he's a good guy. So that's the music side. And there's other things that they do, but this is the role. They are company founders. They have very strong academic links. They might have visiting professorships in different places. There's certainly great deep friendships with academics. Next Tuesday we have Professor Richard Friend from the physics department talking with his CEO. Richard did his PhD at the same time as Hermann Hauser, and so their friendship goes back to 1977. So when Richard comes up with the idea of light-emitting polymers, Hermann understands him. And because Hermann has the entrepreneurial side to him, he says, okay, let's go raise money, let's do this, let's do that, and so on. And Richard says, great. So the great partnership between people in industry and people in entrepreneurial experiences, angel investors, forming deep friendships with academics, bringing fantastic things to life. So we are able to tap into the goodwill, the pro bono goodwill of these individuals who want to kind of give something back to their students. So I put a picture of a python. It's very creepy. I did this late at night, and I am not particularly keen on snakes, and I've now got a snake in my laptop. Never mind. What it comes from is the word incubator. And I was reading a book on the measurement of the Mount Everest in the early days. How do you measure Mount Everest? And even with all the satellite technology, the difference in height is only explained by the snow melting at the top, about 1 or 2 meters difference. So these people did this measurement. How did they do it? Obviously it was a British story, but one of the 3-member team that were actually doing the calculations were called calculators. From Bengal, from Calcutta. So that, if 3 people can be called calculators, then Hermann Hauser can be called an incubator. It's poetry, at least it's poetry, even if it's not grammatically accurate, at least it's poetry. So I thought, well, in that case, the incubation is not the nest. Then I looked up Wikipedia, Google, Oxford English Dictionary, everything. And I found actually that the notion of incubation was as much the parent, if I might call it that, whether it's the chicken or the python or whatever, is incubating the eggs as much as the nest is the incubator in which the egg sits. So the egg is fine in a nest, but without the incubator, i.e. the python in this case, nothing happens. And this is how the origin of the CambridgePYTHON comes about. It comes from some random accessing of Wikipedia stuff and Oxford English Dictionary of the internet. But I think it's an important concept of saying, actually, what is the incubator and who is the incubator is a more interesting question, I think, than what. Because you could put small companies or startups into buildings, provide them no psychological mentoring, coaching support, none of the soft side, and what happens to them? They're left really to their own devices. They're left to the sharks, if you like. So, who are these folks? What do we do? Top left-hand corner, the new dean of the business school, he's engaged. The gentleman with the very determined look is Karan Bellemoria, the founder of Cobra Beer. He comes to inspire. That's Hermann Hauser talking there in the third picture. Shirley Jameson, another lady. Oops. Duncan Goose, who started a water company. He's an interesting man, actually, Duncan Goose, with his water. He had a midlife crisis, and every man who has a midlife crisis, at least in England, buys a motorcycle. Okay, and goes off somewhere. He went around the world. When he got to Africa and he saw there was not enough water, he decided to do something about that. He sells water, the profits of that goes to creating solutions. And then Richard Friend and others. So we bring these people into the ecosystem, bring them in with our students, mix them in, they exchange. So for the policymakers who are here, beware the unit of analysis. Don't think SME, think entrepreneur. Think about how you integrate soft skills into the actual work. There are some theories if you want to use them. You need enabling policies for sure, national tax issues and local human resource policies. You need policies that enable academics and students to start companies. You need clear boundaries in order for corporate governance to be in place. Success and failure are neither show envy nor punish people. Shift the culture to praise and tolerance. I think we have to do that ourselves every day, and then it spreads. Encouraging diversity and create a strong big vision that can inspire. And for those of you that are entrepreneurs,